Okay, we're live.
Hello.
Have you ever felt trapped by a financial system that wasn't built for you? So many of us are told that living on disability benefits means a financial story that is already written. But what if that's not true? What if there's a way to take a break, to take back your power and start building real wealth? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Disabled Wealthy right here on the Minnie on Cam YouTube channel. I'm your host, Minnie St. and I'm so thrilled you're here with us today. For far too long, the narrative around disability and money has been of scarcity, limitations, and simply surviving. But here at Disabled Wealthy, we're breaking the status quo where 1 in 6 people with disabilities live in poverty, and poverty rates for people with disabilities remain twice as high as those without disabilities. We believe that financial empowerment, wealth building, and living a life of true freedom are not just dreams, but achievable realities for people with disabilities. This isn't just about managing benefits, it's about building a future where we thrive. Today, we have an incredible guest, special guest, who embodies this philosophy. He's a trailblazer, a fellow Canadian living with a disability, someone who actively where I got lost. Hold on. I lost it.
Oh no.
It was so good. Okay. Before we bring out our amazing guests, if you're finding value in these conversations and want to support the work we do here at Disabled Wealthy, subscribe to the channel. You can be a generous sponsor or giver by scanning the QR code that is not on my screen. Hold on. There we go. In the corner. And your support helps us continue bringing these vital discussions. And my disclaimer before we get into all the technical stuff, which is this right here. Before we begin, we want to be crystal clear. We are not employees of the Ministry of Children, Community, and Social Services. We are two people with disabilities who are tired of the narrative that being disabled automatically means living in poverty. And no, we're not here to sell you investment products or recommend financial institutions. Our goal is to openly share our financial journeys and the insights we've gained while navigating ODSP policy directives, income and employment support, and building our own wealth. This is born from decades of dedicated research, personal trial and error, and a massive commitment to financial empowerment. It is vital to remember that our paths are unique to us. We remain fully compliant with all the legal regulations and policies while taking massive action toward our goals. Our experiences are meant to show what is possible, but they are not a substitute for professional advice. Your journey will be unique, and it's essential to consult with qualified professionals to create an individual strategic plan tailored to your circumstances. Wealth building is possible for anyone, but it requires hard work, discipline, and consistent effort. Financial decisions should be made with careful consideration. Um, Okay. So now it's my absolute pleasure to introduce our incredible guest, Patrick. As you heard in our opening, that I couldn't figure out where I got lost in, he's a true pioneer in this space, much like myself, who's also investing my way out of disability poverty with a total net worth over $100,000, with the majority in my registered disability savings plan, which is an exempt asset while receiving Ontario Disability Support Program. Patrick is the voice behind Disabled Investor, where he openly shares his personal journey of building wealth as a visually impaired Canadian. He's not just talking about it, he's actively navigating the complexities of investing while on ODSP. He's here to show us how he's defined expectations and is working towards his own financial freedom. Get ready for an eye opening conversation that will equip you with knowledge, inspire you with possibility, and perhaps even spark your own journey to financial sovereignty. Let's dive in. Hi, Patrick. How you doing?
Hey, Minnie. Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you made it on time.
Yeah, I guess that can be a problem. Um, No, I was all scheduled, ready, showered, ready to go, and looking forward to it.
Me too. All right, let me make sure we're alive on the right link because last time I was not.
Ah,
And then it bothered me so much I kept stopping the live stream.
oh no.
Yeah. And plus,
Did,
I don't think there's anybody in chat yet. So, okay, good. It looks like it's here.
did you share it out on X?
I shared it to everybody. So,
Okay.
people on my WhatsApp, people on Twitter, on the Reddit, in the Facebook group, everybody. And everybody, like people I know that are on ODSP as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mandy, who works at the Shea Community Foundation for Black Disabled Canadians. We had a long chat yesterday. And she's like, "You're going to be live tomorrow at 10 a.m., right?" I'm like, "Yeah, as long as my arm is not bothering me."
Aw,
But my arm is still bothering me, so I'm still here. That's impressive.
you're a trooper.
Okay, so Patrick, let's get started with you because this is the whole point why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
First question: can you please introduce yourself and share a bit about your journey as a Canadian living with a disability?
Certainly. Well, I'm Patrick Hebert. I'm 45. I'm a disabled Canadian, as you've mentioned, visually impaired, uh, mental health challenges as well, and I've been on ODSP going on, 12 years now, or 11, 12, somewhere around there, over a decade, anyways. And in that time, I've acquired my registered disability savings plan back in, I think it was 2014, 2015, somewhere around there. Didn't really take it seriously at first. And then as my vision loss progressed, I decided I better pay more attention to it as I was less able to pay attention to other things. And decided about 5 years ago to take it really seriously and started growing. Um, and here we are today with net value of over $130,000 as of yesterday. So it's been quite the journey. Um, and I'm happy to share what's worked for me and what hasn't. And that's the whole point of my channel.
Okay, great. So, what was your sick and tired moment that made you realize you needed to find a path to escape disability poverty, and how did that lead you to start investing, ultimately creating your YouTube channel, Disabled Investor?
Well, my channel is only about 8, 9 months old now at this point. 9 months. So I started that long after I started investing in my registered disability savings plan. But I decided that because I'd been fortunate with some of my investment decisions, that it would make sense to not only keep myself accountable, but to share what has been working with my investment journey. So I decided to do that back in December with the channel. And I started taking investing seriously about 5 years ago, as I said. That's when my vision loss progressed to the point that I could no longer drive and had to find other things to focus on. So, without being able to go out to work part time the way I had, I needed to find another way to grow value in my RDSP because I know that when it comes time for retirement, um, when they put us out to pasture at 65, I'm going to need more than just the guaranteed income supplement that comes from the federal government. I'm going to need more.
Yeah.
So I'm not satisfied to just live on whatever it is, uh, which I know is not enough.
So, this will lead into my next question, but I also have like commentary question. Did you check your Service Canada numbers for your CPP contributions of how much you
Yeah,
contributed?
yeah, it's not great. Because I
Is that
didn't.
more than $1,000 and $1,019 or less than $1,019? Because that's
I,
my number. That's what I'm asking. So,
I believe it's more than $1,019. Yeah,
okay. So you're
yeah,
a little bit better than
a
me.
little bit better, but it's not going to pay me much. I know that. I can't rely on CPP to save the day when the time comes.
Yeah.
Um,
And
So,
then the way that the ODSP automatically thinks you'll move on to CPP, OAS, and GIS when you're 64.
mm-hmm.
Because John Stapleton has these webinars about it all the time, how to retire on low income. And I was in his webinar one time and I yelled out no very loud. I was like, I don't want to do that. I need another option.
Yep.
And they actually don't have another option for people on low income. So this is nice that I'm
Either
not the only one out there that's working with the RDSP account, navigating the ODSP. Like you're at 100,000. I should check mine. I'll check mine in the show to know how much is there, because I think I saw 112.
that's
So
good. That's good.
but who knows? This today could have changed from Friday. I have no idea. So early steps: opening your registered disability savings account, building your journey to escape poverty. You've spoken about making a little bit of money grow into something substantial for your future, even while living on a modest income.
Mm-hmm.
Could you walk us through the first steps you took to put money aside? And what did you realize? When did you realize the importance of tools like the Registered Disability Savings Plan for growing your protected funds? Because you said you didn't really start taking it seriously like 5 years ago,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
But
That's
you're
right.
eligible for it from 2014, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I opened it in 2014, but I was working part time then, and I didn't really, I don't know, I wasn't in a good mental space, so I didn't take it seriously. You know, I was I think uh, a little bit bipolar at that point. Not that I'm not always, but you know, that at that point I was not thinking clearly. So I wasn't taking it seriously. I sold a vehicle and put the money in the account, and took um, uh, the increase that they gave me from the, I forget what they call it, but the catch up payments. You know, like
yeah, they carry forward.
they carry forward. And that at that point was like $17,000, uh, 10, 11 years ago, and I bought some pizza stock and some other ETFs and didn't really know what the hell I was doing, and just kind of left it alone. Bought some Coca-Cola shares and, you know, what have you. Opened my account with TD as soon as I had my disability tax credit, and kind of left it alone for a while. Um, and then 5 years ago, as I said, my vision loss progressed to the point that I could no longer drive, which meant that my options for working uh, dried up a little bit. Um, so I'm in the point now where I have to find new things to do. And what I ended up doing was starting to watch the business news and educating myself on how investing works, and then grew my account from there. So um, it also helped that I sold another vehicle about 5 years ago, and put that money in the account and got the carry forward amount again. So,
Yeah, because
you
I'm
know,
pretty sure you got your statement of entitlement in the mail that comes roughly in February, March.
yeah.
And then it tells you exactly how much to contribute to get the catch up contributions for grants and bonds.
Hmm.
Because I remember mine, it's, yeah, the first one was like $17,000. And I was like, okay. But for me, I work with a financial planner.
Okay.
So it's different. I'm not, it seems like you're more hands on with your buying and selling of your investments in your portfolio. You do the self directed method, is what it sounds
I
like.
I am, and there, you know, it used to be that there was a choice. You could either work with an advisor or be self-directed, and there's been a change to the law that I read yesterday. Um, I don't know if it's proposed or actual now, that self-directed brokerages can now offer fee-based advice to self-directed clients in Canada, which is a pretty big deal. So you can be self-directed and take cues from a professional from time to time, which is kind of nice.
I like that. It's like we're in section two. Well, we jumped to question five in question two by talking about working with financial professionals. Like I'm self-employed, so sometimes I work with an accountant. I like working with my financial planner with my investment portfolio. He does take a fee from my global dynamic fund in my
Okay.
portfolio, but it's small. Like,
Mm.
but then I've been working with him for since 2012.
Okay.
So, and in the beginning, he wasn't making any money. It was just advice because he was just a good person that way.
Right.
And then now, how RDSP is over $100,000, where you hit the golden financial milestone that everyone talks about in traditional financial spaces.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I will not be the cat lady eating cat food when I retire. You know what I mean? Like, because like there's this image of like, okay, so we're 65, we're disabled still, we're struggling to get by, it's too hard, but at least one account having $100,000 in it. How old are you right now?
I'm 45.
Okay,
So
so you're 5 years older than me, which means
yeah.
I might have a little bit more money than you when I would get to 65. But who knows? I might not. It's a weird way of the stock market has its own pattern and behavior,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of it's based on how much you put in, and then it multiplies on the other side.
That's right. That's right. And there's
And then the
also there's a tolerance portion to it too. Like, the type of investments that you select has a lot to do with your own pain threshold. Like, can you stand seeing your stuff drop 50% in a year? If you can handle stocks. If you can't, probably not a good idea.
yeah, and for me, like I'm logging in right now. Let me log in right now and not share my screen because there's all my personal information in there. But where is it? Great. I have to log into something else before I log in. No. So because my hand being numb, I have a hard time typing. This is fun.
That's not fun.
It's fun for me in the sense of my family doesn't think there's anything wrong with me.
Oh, so this is video proof.
Yeah, it kind of is. Oh, I have to check my inbox because I refresh my cookies.
Oh, okay. Can you
Uh,
can you log in through your phone?
no, I try not to do that. It's okay.
Ah,
I'll check it later. I was hoping it was over 112, but it's good. Okay. And we're better off to get to the questions instead. So yeah, I had a notice in here for ODSP. So because we're in the section of navigating financial planning with the Ontario Disability Support Program. And before we jump into the first question of section 2, ODSP payment rates impact so many of us. The
mhm.
Ontario Disability Support Program provides financial assistance to eligible individuals with disabilities. The amount of support varies depending on factors like family size, living situation. Since September 2022, when the single person with no children ODSP rate was $1,169, we've seen 4 annual increases tied to inflation. As of July 1st, 2025, rates went up by 2.8%. That means over the past few years, the total increase is about 20%. So, what does this mean for us? If you're eligible and you're a single person on ODSP, your basic needs amount is $809 and your shelter allowance is $599, bringing your total amount up to $1,408 per month. Remember, the exact amount you receive from ODSP is always based on your personal circumstances. If
Mhm.
you ever feel your payment should be more, it's always best to discuss this with your ODSP caseworker. The latest increase applies to basic needs, shelter allowance, board and lodging amounts, and impacts couples, those in long-term and specialized residence care. While it's certainly not perfect, having ODSP tied to inflation means the program is finally trying to keep up with the rising cost of living, even if it started at $1,169 a month. Just wanted to share this important update. Now, with that context in mind, let's turn attention to the first question in section 2, which is earning an income on ODSP. Many in our audience wonder about earning income while on Ontario Disability Support Program. How did you navigate the process of earning and reporting your income, particularly with ODSP earned income exemption rules? So before 2023, you're allowed to earn $200 and keep your benefits.
Yeah.
After 2023, you're allowed to earn $1,000 and keep your benefits. What was your experience understanding how much you could earn before it affected your benefits? I know it's a long question with an update. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. In the beginning, I was
There was Patrick. Yes.
there was Patrick, and I had a corporation back in 2014 that I ran, and uh, I had electroconvulsive therapy, so I forgot a lot of things, and I had to kind of rely on some family members to help me run the business at that point. So what ended up happening was the caseworker with ODSP, we decided that they would just take a certain amount every month from my check, and we do that because I wasn't earning a stable income at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And that was back when you could earn $200 a month, and every additional dollar over that was docked 50 cents. Like, it was not a great system. So 2023 comes along. I'm not working, but I wish I was, because being able to earn $1,000 a month under that system before getting docked is great. People don't realize how.
Can you say that again for the people in the back that don't know $1,000 and keeping your benefits is great? Because a lot of people I've noticed on social media argue that it's not great,
Hmm.
but I think
Well,
they also weren't earning any income to begin with to know how great it was.
yeah. I mean, if you're, I mean, okay, I can give you an example. After I lost my company, I didn't work for a while, and then I started working again by making pizzas at Little Caesars. Um, that was a horrible job, because they'd like to call me names behind my back and think I couldn't hear them, and I would lose about 50 cents on the dollar for everything I earned over $200. Not fun. Put up with shitty employees, coworkers, and then dealing with the docking of your pay uh, makes it kind of a disincentive to go to work. So fast forward to today, and you're telling me you're able to earn $1,000 a month, um, without them taking a dime off you. That's incredible. I mean, it's still not perfect, but it's sure as hell better than it was. And that's $1,000. If you're smart with your money, that's $1,000 that you could be using to grow your escape fund if you want to get off of ODSP eventually.
Yes. So on screen, I have a QR code that goes to my ODSP self employment income estimator.
Okay.
It also works like if you know your net income from your paycheck, you can enter those numbers in. It'll still do the math, but you said you had a corporation. I'm self employed, sole proprietor. We have to do extra math
Mm-hmm.
and then report it to ODSP and then follow everything in section 5.4 self-employment
Yeah,
and sometimes have a caseworker who doesn't understand section 5.4 self-employment. So
that's
I
right.
had to take the self-initiative of making up my own spreadsheet, which I'll quick glance at what it looks like now because that way people understand of what I'm talking about. It looks like this. Yes, wait, take this off the screen. Yeah, it looks like this. And for me, it makes my life so much easier in the sense like right now I'm getting $1,779. This is before the overpayment.
Hmm.
Because the overpayment it's now $81.15. So let's change this math a little bit. I like how I can't use my hand, but I'm using my hand. Wait, no, that's 50 cents. That makes it bigger. Never mind. No,
Hmm.
we need the math to be correct. It needs to be accurate.
Right.
Okay, so we change it. So this is what I get right now. But if I pay off my overpayment in full, I'll get the full $1,779.
Hmm.
But I learned if I make, where is it? Net income. this one goes with gross income and then net income because I made it simpler for myself to have 75% of approved business expenses that ODSP recognizes. The math for me is just easier. So
Okay.
from me being a math person, I had to find creative ways to make it fun. And I know if you're not a math person, this does not look fun. But trust me, it's fun.
Mm.
Because if I made $8,000 in my business, but I had $6,000 of business expenses, I take home $2,000, and that's $1,000 above the threshold. But then ODSP deducts 750, so then I would get $1,047.85 from ODSP for a total amount of $3,047.85. And I learned with them every penny counts because every penny that you earn down to the penny determines how much you get reduced on ODSP or
Mm-hmm.
increased by ODSP. Like I met a young lady who's been working but wasn't reporting her income for 2 years. I'm like, you're going to have to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're missing out on the $100 work-related benefit for the 2 years. So
Not to mention the
$100,
$500 startup benefit.
that too. So when I did the math of how much income she's potentially missing,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's like $3,000.
Well, and like, I mean, people have done it. People have worked under the table, beside the table, whatever you want to call it, just on the
Uh-huh.
side, and it happens. But when the employer knows that you're not being above board with your income, sometimes they take advantage of you, and I've seen that happen. They know that you're not reporting, so okay, we'll pay you a little less. What are you going to do about it? It happens. So there's advantages to being forthright, I think.
And then for me, all my income sources have been online businesses.
Mm.
So it's an extra level of bookkeeping, record keeping, receipts, first to CRA, then to ODSP, because my brain can't do a different set of books that are like accommodating for ODSP that would never be the same way for CRA.
Yeah.
So I tend to only focus on what I need to report for CRA because I'm already self-employed. I make US dollars and I have to convert it to Canadian. I have to keep track of the business expenses.
Mm.
Like me being a webcam model, we have this Bluetooth interactive vibrating prop that I have to like add to my business expenses and keep track of because it's an electronic device.
Mm-hmm.
I have to keep track of the depreciating value of it. And it's not an approved, well, maybe it is. I have to figure out how to put it in ODSP as an approved expense over
Yeah,
there
really.
as either
Yeah.
business supplies or office supplies or equipment. And it's easier if you take a bookkeeping and accounting class.
Well,
But
or
when
you use your accountant to help you figure out.
yeah, if you're able to hire an accountant. But then I only found Wood Green had one self-employment workshop, but it's not expansive. I'm like, that doesn't help me.
Mm.
It's just because there's investment income, there's reporting the RSPs and first home savings account contributions. I need a program that does all of them and not say, oh, it's too hard because you're on disability and we're trying to make it easy for you. No,
Mm.
the world don't make it easy for us.
Yeah,
So why
that's
should
right.
a program make it easy for us? And record keeping, yes, it's annoying, but so is buying groceries every week. So
Yep.
it's
Yep.
like it's a weird way. Like we want to be accommodated, but the accommodation is just to bring you up to the baseline as everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then once you're accommodated to reach everybody else, you're supposed to perform like everybody else. But I just find some charities and their programming for either entrepreneurship or tax filing, they act like we're in a protective bubble in a different world, like
Mm.
Sliders.
Yeah.
Weather shows have to go to different worlds that are opposite of where they live, like Superman, and the world was flat.
Right. Right.
It doesn't work like that. We don't have that option. I don't. Okay, before I go on a rant and a tangent. Okay, now we're back on the RDSPs. So the journey with the Registered Disability Savings Plan. Clearly a powerful tool. Your strategy, could you elaborate your process of getting started with it and choosing where to invest within it? Perhaps sharing any initial hurdles or key lessons you learned.
Yeah, for sure. Well, my first introduction to the RDSP was actually through my brother, who has an intellectual disability and had his RDSP opened up in 2008. So he was among the first people to get one. Um, and it was in, I think, 2011 or 12 that I went with him to where he had his account, which was at the time RBC, and we discovered that the $13,000 that was in his account had grown marginally over 5 years because he was getting such a poor rate of interest and return on it. That we decided, well, he decided he wanted his money somewhere that, they rewarded him more for investing. So we did some research and we found that TD at the time offered the ability to invest your uh, portfolios yourself without being limited to just GICs and certain types of mutual funds that didn't provide much of a return. So we did that, and since then his portfolio grew, and that inspired me to when I was approved with the disability tax credit to open mine with TD and kind of follow in my younger brother's footsteps, um, and that's what I did. Um, but I didn't do it well initially. I bought some silly things. I focused mostly on dividend producing assets and didn't really know what I was doing. Um, and kind of futzed around for a little while until 2020 when I started taking it very seriously.
Okay, I mean, you're generational for the registered disability savings plan. What it sounds like, because if your brother opened it in 2008 when it first was created,
Hmm.
I've met financial advisors that had a hard time of finding the right financial institutions to open the account with. Banks weren't familiar with it yet.
Yeah.
Um, One lady was opening it for a family member or a friend of a friend for diabetes.
Hmm.
I remember applying for it in 2008 and it got denied in 2008. Then I reapplied again in 2020. It got approved. And then I opened it online. One institution was available to open them online, so I did.
Okay.
And that opened everything for me in ETFs, exchange trade funds
Right.
that are more active in the market versus
Hmm.
mutual funds that are more fees depending on what fund you pick, but less active in buying and selling in the stock market. So I have half and half or 60-40
Okay.
of ETFs and then mutual funds, but I also have segregated funds in my registered disability savings plan. And for me, being on ODSP, knowing that segregated funds are exempt assets up to $100,000, and then having them in my 100% exempt asset registered disability savings plan feels redundant. But I guess it's a type of fund in it based on performance and returns and all the languages you hear on Bloomberg business news.
Hmm.
So, and then Mandy, Samantha, is in chat with, this is awesome. This is a great way to learn. And thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here
Yeah. Thank you.
because this is
Welcome.
great. This means we're not just talking to ourselves into the void. So,
Screaming into the darkness. Yeah, we're not doing that. That's good.
okay, good. So this is good for the next question is about investment strategies and budgeting. So beyond your
Hmm.
registered disability savings plan, how do you approach your broader investment strategy today? What methods do you use to balance your investing goals with the day-to-day realities of managing expenses while on ODSP?
Yep. Well, I follow something called a core and satellite investing strategy, which sounds nebulous and kind of weird, but it basically I put the bulk of my money into ETFs, um, like things that invest in the S&P 500 index or the developed markets around the world or the Canadian banks and insurance companies. Um, I have about 5 ETFs that I put the bulk of my money into, and then the remainder I invest in those kind of more speculative things you could call them a gamble, but they're not really. I do my own research to find out if it's something that I want to put some money into, and I'll put a little bit of money in those things. And like they talk about in marketing, the 80-20 rule, I found that 80% of my returns has been from those little speculative investments. It's kind of incredible, but those bigger core holdings are the ones that keep my holdings more stable and from being bouncing around uh, like they have in the past. So it's been a wild ride, but I'm learning as I go too, and that's part of what my channel's about, is showing my evolution.
Okay. I mean, I thought I could log into my account and take a look, but I still can't on the I just
Ah,
remember for resetting my cookies. It's more because of like I go with diversification, long-term investing. I try to dollar cost averaging, which means I try to invest roughly the same amount of money in my accounts every single month.
I do that
And
as well. Yeah.
um like I have a global dynamic fund, which is like most of the market of all the industries. Then I have a real estate fund in there. The ETFs, I'm not sure, but I think I remember seeing S&P 60, S&P 50. So those are following the S&P stock market, I think.
hmm
Like I know what they are when I look at them, but for me to remember them off the top of my head is like I didn't know they're diversified. It just the names of them is a practice, which is probably why I want to go to college for finance to learn them
Well,
more a little bit in the sense where like coaching other people to understand that the
mhm,
stock market is available for everybody as long as you're eligible for your disability tax credit, open your registered disability savings plan and maximize all the advantages of the account
yeah.
before the time limit of turning 49.
Yep.
So you're 45, 49, you're no longer going to get the grants and bonds deposited into your account for matching your contributions.
That's right.
Then around 59, you have to wind down your account and pull withdrawals from it. So you basically have 10 years. You can still contribute after 49, you're just not getting the match
That's
from the
right.
government. But it's
But there.
a weird window of you pretty much have 10 to 15 years to invest in this account aggressively as you can
hmm
so that the investment stock market performance and everything going on in the economy moves your account up and down like a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And then when you're ready to jump off the roller coaster because you're done with the ride,
Hmm.
you live off the investments.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. But
I
there's
summarized
other
it well.
there's other things to consider too. Like, one of the reasons that I've gone heavy into the RDSP. Now, nobody intends on bad things happening, but I've been through a bankruptcy before, and I've learned that the RDSP is an exempt asset under Ontario bankruptcy rules. So, that's a big deal. If you don't plan on going bankrupt, but if bad things happen, you want your nest egg to be protected, right? So that's kind of nice. Uh, I don't know that that would extend past 60, because the rule is if it's not accessible, it's not considered an asset that you can that you,
I have an answer for the after 60 segregated funds,
ah
life insurance products. So yeah, you can. Oh yeah, I'm protected for life because I filed bankruptcy 3 times.
okay.
First was a consumer proposal, it got annulled, then it defaulted to a bankruptcy, then another consumer proposal. That one I paid off in 9 months. I'm doing very hard not to go back into a consumer proposal or
hmm
a bankruptcy because I like my credit right now.
Yeah, I
Like
hear you.
I the only thing is I need to it also works perfect for the next question of consumer debt and investing.
hmm
But I have 4 credit cards, I have about 16 or 18,000 dollars in credit card debt. One of my credit cards is going to be 28.99% interest.
Ooh,
Yeah, painful
low.
as painful could be.
Yeah.
But it's just my smallest balance. It's $1,500.
Okay.
So if once my arm is ready to get back to work,
Mm,
we will and pay off that credit card. Then there's a credit card that collects PC Optimum points, but I
right.
learned I technically don't need it because of the PC Money account that is a prepaid card.
Mm,
but it acts like a debit card, so it's cash, and it still
Okay.
collects the same amount of PC Optimum points in the same aggressive pattern of collecting points. So I
That's
learned
cool.
I don't need that credit card, even though you collect PC Optimum points, but you also collect them with the PC Money account. No, they're not sponsored. None of these financial institutions we mentioned are sponsoring the show.
Yep.
But
That's right.
it's part of strategy, it's part of budgeting, it's part of managing debt and living with a disability and interacting with the financial institution industry. We do that whether we have a disability or not.
Yep.
And how the registered disability savings plan has consumer protection against bankruptcies. So do segregated funds. Segregated funds. Oh, I had a long explanation for it. Do we get to? Oh, I do. Oh, okay. Here it is. I have here where it's important to understand that these non-registered accounts work with ODSP. For example, a taxable broker account at a traditional bank or credit union falls under the standard asset limit of Policy Directive 4.1 definition treatment of assets, which I didn't get to talk about that. So, like, I know you have a TFSA, I have a taxable broker account. My TFSA is at a segregated fund life insurance company. Is your TFSA at a traditional bank or a life insurance company like Equitable or Industrial Alliance? No, any financial institution I mentioned is not sponsored of this show.
Yeah, that's right.
Examples and context.
I have multiple TFSAs actually because you can. I have TFSAs that are in mutual funds, like a little bit, and even though they're not my favorite investment vehicle, they do offer some advantages. I have TFSAs that are in some GICs, and I have some TFSAs that are in trading account. But I hadn't considered the segregated fund. I'll have to look into that.
I highly recommend it because that's my RSP, first home savings account, and tax-free savings account. The thing with opening a segregated fund, you need to work with someone who's licensed in LLQP, which is Life License Qualification Program. My financial planner, he's already licensed to open those accounts. When searching for a financial advisor to open a segregated fund, it's good to work with someone that's a heart of a teacher. You could open it at RBC Insurance. BMO has them. So it kind of depends on your preference. Like I like the financial advisor where we sit, we have a meeting, he's independent, he's not captive of any of these major financial institutions. He can open them anywhere because his license is like a golden ticket to go to all of them.
Okay.
But if you're like already at RBC and then you want to open your segregated fund at RBC because you want to keep everything in one place, that's fine. But then you have to make sure the advisor that, because you can't just open it by yourself. So they have to go to the bank, make an appointment, and then work with the advisor. Just make sure the advisor doesn't try to sell you other products in the financial institution, because we have to operate under all the policy directives for ODSP. Like I talked about earlier, ODSP Policy Directive 4.1 definition and treatment of assets. And then the next one is 4.8 life insurance. So ODSP has already decided our financial future.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at the numbers that ODSP says in there as milestones we can achieve. So like $100,000 for a life insurance policy is exempt under ODSP. And then for assets at a traditional financial institution or a credit union that's not a life insurance product, that being a single person, no children, the asset limit is $40,000. That's my taxable broker account. That's my FU disability money number account.
Right.
Which, as soon as it hits $40,001, ODSP is like, you're no longer eligible. I'm like, yes. What's next? Like, there's a process of puzzle pieces that go together to fit the big picture.
Right.
And each puzzle piece picture is different for everybody based on what you're willing to do, how you understand it, how you want to put together, how frequent and able are you to work and earn an income? Are you earning an income from a job or from a business? So there's a lot of, remember the disclaimer in the beginning when I said your journey is unique and personal to you and create a strategic plan for your situation? This is how this fits. Because from day one, when you got approved for ODSP, it was based on your assets, your disability, and then your needs are supporting your disability.
Hmm.
Then as you move through ODSP, it's the same thing. That doesn't go away. Just because Patrick is doing one thing and me over here is doing one thing, we eventually will like the same outcome, but working with somebody else doing it or knowing someone else doing it makes the isolation less alone. And also, you feel normal. Like
Yeah,
normal financial people, like non-disabled people, they wouldn't be able to understand what we're doing, but they understand the outcome of what we want to achieve, financial independence.
that's
So
right.
that is why I like this conversation, because it's better than the typical conversations we have about being on disability. It just makes it um more hopeful in a sense that, okay, I want $1 million in my bank account. Are you going for $1 million in yours?
Eventually, I'm going for it. Going for it. I'm,
You need
shoot
sound
for
with
the
more
moon.
enthusiasm. You need more enthusiasm in your
Shoot
million
for the
dollars.
moon, end in the stars. Land in the stars.
Okay,
That's
good.
that's the idea.
Because I want
Um,
the enthusiasm. All
yeah,
right. So we talked about RSPs, TFSAs, FHSAs. They need to stop adding letters to the alphabet.
yeah, right. You know, and I try to keep mine simple. I'm following the KISS method, and in my mind, I'm not gonna worry about the other alphabets until I get $200,000 contributed to my RDSP. Only because that's the limit. You can't put more than $200,000 of your own money into your RDSP, which at that I can grow that from there. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to think. There's a moment I was supposed to play a video,
Hmm.
and I think now would be the best time to play the video. I
Okay.
lost the script. The script is here. I don't know where I am in the
Oh
script.
no, I got it on mine. I can send it back to you.
No, it's no. I have it. It's just we've been talking like regular human beings,
Oh right. Okay.
and my script is predicting what Patrick would say, and technically Patrick didn't say the things in the script. So I'm trying to find the next natural transition for the next topic that makes sense. And I think we play well. Usually we talk about the myth
Which myth?
about. So there's three of them, which the slides, and then I think after the myths we can talk about not this one, and then where did you go? I put this in the middle. Okay, so yeah, I because this is a big myth being on ODSP that you're not allowed to have any significant savings or investments while on ODSP.
Oh right.
And then I wrote here in my notes, the reality, this is false. ODSP has significant asset limits, but
Mm-hmm.
there are also many exemption assets that do not count against this limit, such as primary residence, a primary vehicle, most importantly, the registered disability savings plan.
Mm-hmm.
This means you can build significant wealth without impacting your benefits. And then, how do you feel about this myth? Did you believe this in the beginning as true, or did you not believe it? And then,
It didn't really impact me because I didn't have that much uh, assets to begin with. But as I learned about the RDSP, I realized that's the parachute. That's the escape hatch, is the RDSP. So that's why I'm contributing to it, because that defeats that myth, doesn't it?
well, I mean, when I got on ODSP, the asset limit was $5,000 for a single person, no children. I got on it in 2011.
Okay.
In 2017, they changed the asset limit to $40,000 for a single person.
Mm.
And then the income earning threshold for 2011 was if I earned anything, 50% of what I earned was clawback from ODSP.
Yeah.
So the window of earning under the table to supplement ODSP, because they had a weird way that you can have $5,000 in cash, but if you earned income or reported it, they claw back you 50% on the dollar. And then 2013, they're like, oh yeah, let's just make a threshold 200. and then still keep the 50% clawback rate.
Yeah.
Anything above 200, you get. But then, like, I don't get it. Like, the policy reform of academic documents I found of ODSP from what 1985, they copy 20 years of American. The American is following a poverty-based measure from 1950.
Mm.
Then Canada comes in and makes their welfare program. Instead of making it customized, designed for Canadians and people on the system in Canada, they copied something from the United States and they customize it a decade or 5 years later. Like, nothing
Right.
in policies has ever changed fast. I learned that. It's either 5 or 10 years it changes. And I learned, if you're going to change something in 5 to 10 years, I'm going to be too old and too tired to catch up.
Mm.
Like, you're working with your visual impairment. I'm working with my multiple sclerosis symptoms where I sometimes can't move my arms.
Mm-hmm.
We're not letting it stop us. And then reading the policy of knowing that, yes, single people, no children, you can have $40,000 of non-exempt assets, but also pay attention to business assets, $20,000.
Right.
Gifts in a 12-month period is $10,000 you could receive. So charities, I like to give an honorarium. I don't like the honorarium, but I'll take it because it's an exempt asset under ODSP.
Mm.
And if the honorarium is cash, I can invest the cash into my portfolio. So I make the honorarium of 300 or 400 or whatever they're giving me work in the stock market for my future self.
Yeah, why not?
Because now that's like, one point honorariums were, we'll give you a gift card. I'm like, no, do not give me a effing gift card. I was like, give me cash. And then it's a weird way. The way it's worded on the invoice, I give the nonprofit the invoice of the honorarium. Like, I just did it for March of Dimes, $300. Then on it, I put in the notes speaker fee, because I did a presentation similar like this to March of
Mhm.
Dimes, and they paid me $300. And then I had to make sure when I sent it to ODSP, I was a presentation they asked me to do. I did the presentation. Like, I may, to prove the $300 is for work, earned income, I may send ODSP the presentation I did so they know it's actually work.
Oh.
Because I need them to see it as income.
Right.
So they add on the $100 work-related benefit on the next payment at the end of the month. Because I need the $100 work-related benefit to go into my portfolio in the future to invest.
Right.
This is the Jenga pieces.
Yeah.
And pick up sticks.
Make them fit. Yeah.
Every board game that had pieces you had to connect together that didn't fall apart or touch
Mhm.
another piece is what we're doing here. Okay, let's go on to the next myth. Oh yeah, my wonderful images. I love them. This is nice. So this one here is 3 people. Person in the middle is a wheelchair user with a gold wheelchair, gold trim everywhere. Each of them hold a map. They're in a maze made out of gold. The gentleman on the right is holding a compass. The lady on the left is wearing a pencil skirt like a flight attendant with a map and big hoop gold earrings. They are all navigating the financial maze of government assistance to financial freedom. That's the reason why there's gold in it. The gold is
Okay.
for opportunity, wealth, and abundance.
Right.
And because there's 2 maps and 1 compass, hopefully they all make it together on the other side like a game of Jumanji.
Right. And they don't get.
So
Yeah.
myth 2, if you earn any money, it's not worth it because ODSP will take most of it away.
Well, you know what? That used to be more true than it is today. There used to be something to that. I mean, when we came into the system, every dollar that you earned was taken 50 cents back, right? You lost 50 cents. And then they brought in the $200 exemption, and they gave you the $100 bonus for reporting income. And now you get the $1,000 exemption, which makes it worthwhile.
And $500 once every 12 months called employment and startup benefit if you can prove you're doing any activity towards being competitive employed.
Yep.
That is, I have to find that policy number. I'll put it on the screen once I find it. but I don't. And then there's also $500 for leaving ODSP because your income is too high than what they give you. So I see the $500 for leaving as my
Hmm.
graduation money.
You could call that the F off money.
Yeah, well, whatever, like, because I think like the way it's built, there's income support, there's employment
Hmm.
support, and they're built into ODSP. But many people only focus on I'm unable to work, I'm only getting the income support, then you're getting health benefits, dental and vision,
Mm.
then mobility devices, then like the air conditioner money out there that got moved around different governments. It's now in the city of Toronto or different regions or where you are. Ottawa has a different department of the government that gives it to you.
Okay.
That I'm okay with it temporarily. I'm navigating all those obstacle courses,
Hmm.
accessing benefits. Like my doctor, she gave me her letter she used 5 years ago to access my air conditioner. Then my
Okay.
caseworker says, no, it needs to say that's life threatening and risk of hospitalization. I'm like, okay.
Mm.
So then the whole conversation and my benefits of me and my caseworker talking back and forth, I sent it to my doctor. And I said, we need to update my letter to focus on my neurological condition, my psychiatric condition, medications I'm taking. And luckily, and also not luckily, how I went to the emergency room this week, it's like she can word it together to make it fit.
Okay.
'Cause
Nice.
that's the way I saw it. Because I'm like, yeah, I did go to emerge. We know my symptoms are aggravated by heat.
Hmm.
And maybe like it's just a weird way, like it's enough truth of what happened that it
Right.
should be enough evidence when the doctor writes the note that I get approved for the cooling device money from City of Toronto, ODSP, whoever says yes, make the deposit happen so I can buy another fan for my living room. And if there's anything left over, maybe I save it. Maybe I buy more cooling devices or humidifier,
Mm.
whatever I need to do to take care of myself.
Right.
That. But like, I don't want to do it in 5 years from now. I just don't, because everything is the doctor has to prove that's true. Hi Neil, how you doing? No, we've been talking a good while, and we're not even halfway done. So we're now on Miss, and I didn't play the video yet, so you're in time. Okay.
Hi.
Oh, you're watching from the beginning. That's fantastic. This is fantastic. This would be a good time to also post questions in chat if people have
Yeah.
them, because that way I know people are here. Okay, we talked about Miss. We talked about not worth it. No, your future is worth it.
Yeah. Definitely.
Whether it's disability or not disability, if you want to achieve certain financial milestones and you are willing to work towards it in whatever capacity you have to work towards it, work towards it. I don't just want me and Patrick out here
No,
becoming millionaires and everyone else is like, oh, it's too hard. I can't do it.
I'm sharing this journey to help other people do the same thing,
And
and learn from my mistakes. That's the whole thing.
me and Patrick, disabilities may progress in the future. It's not going to stop us. We're still
Hmm.
going to do it. And I kind of have to because my mom thinks she can pray away my disability. So
Mm.
I don't have a choice not to. Okay, next one. Oh, yeah, this one. I love this image. This image is wonderful. Okay, so we're standing on gold bars.
Mm.
We have many people who have a wheelchair and a laptop. We all have our hands up like in victory, like we won
Hmm.
the World Cup series or some big, huge competition. Everyone is smiling. Everyone is happy. This is to represent the financial destination of disabled wealthy.
Mm.
And I recommend everyone work towards it as best you can.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, last myth, then I'll play my video, I think.
Okay.
Okay. So myth 3, any growth on my investments will be counted as income and reduce my monthly ODSP check. Now, I had to do some research for this full answer. So the reality only, it's partially true. It is often depends on the type of account. Exempt accounts like the Registered Disability Savings Plan, that one is a little tricky. because the withdrawals of the RDSP. So you invest in your RDSP, what goes in is exempt.
Mm-hmm.
What comes out, if you keep it in your account and you're still on ODSP, this is where you cannot take $40,000 out right away.
Yeah.
Because the way that
That'll
if you
slap you.
hold, yeah, if you hold over $10,000, there's a $10,000 number withdrawals, there's a $40,000 number withdraw.
I'm not sure.
I saw it. I have to go back and like read it again. I know I saw it. I saw it when I was making the slides.
You're
Like,
talking about the lifetime disability assistance payment when you're 60,
yeah, the
or
drip. There's a drip so when we pull out money at 59,
yeah.
and if we're still on ODSP, it's exempt as income, but I think if you hold it as an asset, it counts as your asset.
Oh, okay.
I saw it. It just the words in ODSP policy, like I'll see it sometimes, I get upset, and then I block it out, and I have to go back and look again. Same thing with segregated funds. Like segregated funds, they're exempt up to $100,000,
Mm-hmm.
but then taking a withdrawal from it, there's a $10,000 number in there. Like no matter, as long as you're on ODSP, you're expected to stay within their financial limits right up until extended health benefits.
Yeah.
But if you set up your portfolio or you get an inheritance that's over, or win the lottery that's over those limits, and you're financially, mentally prepared to walk away from ODSP, then you move on to traditional health benefits, the Trillium Drug Plan, or you're buying a guaranteed acceptance health insurance plan.
Right.
So I'm trying to paint the picture. Yes, be on ODSP, but also plan to not be on ODSP.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what if like grandma dies and leaves me $200,000? I'm no longer on ODSP, so then I have to move all the money in the right accounts in the account. But then if I get an inheritance and let's say I already by myself like max out the contributions to the registered disability savings plan with the 200,000, for me it's 100,079 is my contribution room left. So already, if I get 200,000 as an inheritance, yes, I would like to put the 170 in the RDSP and reach the maximum amount. But then the rest of it, the 25,000, give or take of math, would go in the segregated funds. TFSA is my best bet because my room over there is $105,000 total contribution room.
Mm-hmm.
So you always have to know, like filling up a cup. You know, you fill up the cup on the champagne pyramid thing.
Yeah.
It's like that. But that's also based on your personal circumstances. What do your numbers say? We log into your MyCRA account, your tax return, and then also you could just not care and just don't want to be on ODSP and live off that income.
Yeah, and that's
until you spent it all and then go back on for rapid reinstatement. There's a lot of options.
That's a reasonable thing to do.
And that was the option that's not on the list, because I had options that were on the list. I know too much. This is too painful for me.
Just take the money and run. Yeah.
Because the example from ODSP's website says a single recipient, $900 in income support per month. The maximum value of assets permitted is $40,000. During a review, it is noted that the recipient's balance for August was $44,100, remained over the maximum asset level until December 15th, when the balance declined by $4,100 to the allowable asset limit of $40,000. So, know how the market fluctuates all the time.
Yeah.
This example said August, they were over $40,000, but December, they went below $40,000. So from August to December, those months, you're probably not getting the full income support from ODSP, but you could potentially be getting traditional health benefits from ODSP.
Right.
So essentially, they want you to use the $4,100 over the $40,000 to cover those months that are over the limit. Mm-hmm. So then when you're under the limit, you get back on ODSP, and then you probably get your full payment check in December.
That makes sense.
So this is how the roller coaster teeter-totter works.
Yeah, well, you know, and in fairness, I mean, we don't want millionaires on ODSP. I get that. I get that.
No, but you can. Remember, millionaire is assets minus liabilities. So if your
Mhm.
assets are over $1 million, like your house or the registered disability savings plan, that you can't, those are already determined.
Those are okay, but what I'm talking about is people with liquid cash that's, like $1 million sitting in a slush fund somewhere. That makes us all look bad.
Yeah, there's no liquid millionaire,
Yeah.
but there could be asset millionaires.
Yeah, paper millionaires.
See,
Yeah.
this is a very good intellectual academic type of conversation that I wish nonprofit organizations would have.
Yeah.
Okay, which is great. So section 3, we're talking about millionaire mindset, but I'll play the video first. And then I'll show my last little wonderful motivational image. This one's my favorite because we have here, so the maze of gold. We have a golden goose. The golden goose is your income.
Mm.
Then we have a person with a wheelchair. We have a person who has one arm and the other arm is either amputated or it was never there to begin with because they're born without an arm. Then we have a person that has a cane and another cane beside them. They represent the opportunity because they're all dressed in business casual business suits.
Hmm.
So this is perfect for the millionaire mindset segment and the video that I'll play. And the question for Patrick and people in chat, blue or yellow?
Hmm. Blue or yellow? Do I have to pick one?
Yes.
Oh. I like both colors. I'll go with yellow.
Okay. And I see Guatemala's in chat with interesting, which is great. I'm hoping someone in chat will vote on blue or yellow,
Okay.
but I don't know who's here because I guess they're listening, but they're not engaging in the chat room. So,
Does it
and
tell you how many people are in
it says
watching?
3. It says
Okay.
3, which means it could be Samantha, it could be Neil, it could be Guatemala. But nobody's typing in blue or yellow. And you said yellow, right?
Yellow. Give me
Okay.
yellow. Yeah.
All right, let's play the yellow video.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's way more...
Do you hear it?
It's coming through. Yep.
Okay. Let me start again.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's way more than just about money. It's about financial empowerment. We're going to uncover a real, honest-to-goodness path for building wealth if you're a Canadian on the Ontario Disability Support Program, or ODSP. Let's get right into it.
I mean, seriously, have you ever felt like that? Just stuck? Like you're playing a game where the rules were written to make sure you can only just scrape by? You are definitely not alone in feeling that way. But I'm here to tell you that's not where the story has to end. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start by looking the disability and poverty trap right in the eye. Then we'll find a path to real financial power by cracking open the ODSP rulebook. And you'll want to stick around for the part about the $100,000 secret weapon. Finally, we'll figure out your personal financial freedom number.
Okay, first things first. Before we can start building something new, we have to get real about the ground we're standing on. You know, acknowledging the tough stuff isn't about being pessimistic. It's actually the very first step toward changing it.
And this? Well, this chart says it all, doesn't it? The data is just so clear. Poverty rates for people with disabilities are double, literally double, what they are for people without. So that feeling of being behind, it's not just in your head. It's a systemic problem. And it's exactly why this information is so important. And here's the number that really puts that reality into perspective. By mid-2025, the max ODSP payment for a single person will be $1,408 a month. Yeah, trying to build any kind of wealth on that, it feels impossible, right? But what if I told you the system itself has hidden pathways designed to help you do exactly that?
And that, right there, is our pivot point. This is where we shift the entire conversation. We're moving from a mindset of just surviving day to day to one where we're actively planning to thrive.
This question really gets to the heart of it. For so many people, the journey starts with that sick and tired moment, a point where you just say, enough. There has to be a better way. That feeling, that frustration, that's the spark. That's what starts the fire to find a new path. And here it is. This is the big idea that changes everything. The entire strategy we're talking about comes down to two powerful words: exempt assets.
Simply put, these are savings, investments, and other things you own that the ODSP rules say you can have without it messing with your support payments. This isn't a cheat code, it's the actual key to unlocking a whole new financial future. So, let's roll up our sleeves and get into the actual rules. Because knowing this stuff isn't about boring policy or red tape. It's about finding the levers inside the system that let you turn that policy into real, actual power in your own life.
Okay, let's just bust a huge myth right off the bat. So many people think, why bother earning any money? ODSP will just claw it all back anyway. It's one of the most discouraging beliefs out there. But is it even true?
Nope, not even close. The rules are actually pretty straightforward now. You can earn up to $1,000 a month, that's net income, after taxes, and it won't reduce your ODSP support one single penny. It's not a trap. It's actually an incentive built right into the system.
All right, so beyond what you earn, these are the heavy hitters when it comes to exempt assets. Your main home? Exempt. Your main car or truck? Exempt. And the super powerful Registered Disability Savings Plan, the RDSP? Totally exempt. But see that last one? Certain insurance policies and segregated funds, that's where the biggest secret is hiding. And that brings us to the main event. This is probably the single most powerful, most overlooked rule in the entire ODSP system. Seriously, what I'm about to show you could completely rewrite your financial future.
And here it is, the secret weapon. It all comes down to one crucial little detail: where you hold your money. If you open a tax-free savings account, a TFSA, at your local bank, it counts towards your $40,000 asset limit. But if you hold that exact same kind of account through an insurance company and use it to invest in something called segregated funds, it falls under a whole different policy rule. And that one simple choice makes it exempt for up to an additional $100,000. Just let that number sink in. $100,000. This isn't some shady loophole. It is written right into the government's own policy. It means you can have an extra 100 grand in a TFSA or an RSP, growing for your future, totally protected, without affecting your ODSP benefits one bit. It all comes down to where the account is held.
So what in the world are these segregated funds? Don't let the fancy name scare you. They're basically investment funds, a lot like the mutual funds you've heard of. The key difference is they're sold by life insurance companies. That means, legally, they're considered an insurance contract. And that little technicality, the fact that it's an insurance contract, is the key that unlocks this massive ODSP exemption.
Okay, so now we have the tools. We know the secret rules. Now we can start drawing up the actual blueprint. And that starts with figuring out your personal freedom number. This is what turns all this knowledge into a real, concrete goal you can work towards.
Now, a really powerful way to think about this is with a concept called the Disability FU Money Number. And look, this isn't about being angry, it's about sovereignty. It's the specific amount of money you'd need to have invested so that it generates enough income on its own to cover your living expenses. It's the number that would allow you to walk away from ODSP on your own terms because you no longer need it.
So how do you figure out your number? Well, it's not a wild guess. There's a pretty common rule of thumb in the financial independence world. You just take your total annual income from ODSP and you multiply it by 25. That big number it spits out, that's your target. That's the amount that, in theory, could generate enough income to fund your life forever.
I know, that number looks huge. But how do you actually build towards it? Well, this is how all the pieces come together. You can use all the exempt tools we've talked about. The biggest chunk could be built inside your RDSP. You add to that with your $100,000 exemption for segregated funds in a TFSA and maybe an RSSP too. All of a sudden, that huge, scary number starts to look like a puzzle you can actually solve.
And really, it all comes back to this one idea. It's a shift. By understanding the rules, by using the tools that are already there, and by building a clear plan, you can fundamentally change your own story. You can go from just surviving to building a life of financial sovereignty, a life of choice.
So that leaves us with one last, and maybe the most important question. Now you know. You know the rules of the game, you know about the secret weapons. So what's the very first step, even a tiny one, that you're going to take towards your own financial freedom? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.
So how do you like it?
That was good. That was good.
And I saw a chat once, the blue one too.
Okay.
So first, we're gonna respond and react to yellow, because that. So the whole script. Remember my show script that I had you take a look at? I
Mhm.
uploaded that into Notebook LM, and it made the yellow video. Then I did it again because I was so excited, and I made a
Cool.
blue video.
All right.
But yeah, I think, I mean, I try to make it as simple as possible of ODSP, and it's as accurate as possible with the $1,000 earned income threshold,
Mhm.
segregated funds as your golden ticket, how to determine your FU money number from disability benefits. And it's not as big as I thought. Like, it's not even $1 million. It's still halfway.
Yep.
It's 533,700. That's half. I'm at 100. You're at 100. And it's based on what's your disability amount money that you get. So I can make your FU FU money number.
Disability amount. I get the 1408.
So you get 1408.
Plus the $50 diabetic meal allowance.
So 1458.
Yep.
And then sometimes you get the $100 work related benefit in a month, right?
If I work, but that hasn't happened for years.
Okay, I'm gonna make the number like you get it every month to make it easier.
Mhm.
And then times that by 12. So that's 18,696. Then we times that by 25. Your FU number is 4,067,400. See? Not that hard. You're already at 100.
Yeah.
You just hit 300 more.
Yeah. Yeah. And over 15 years, that's possible, right?
It could happen sooner
Mm-hmm.
because the way that the market is moving faster when your account was over. Wait, I need a comma in that number. Yeah, that is your FU number. That is your FU disability number.
467. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's achievable. But I want more than that.
Look, start here first.
Yeah.
Start here first.
That's nice. I want it bigger. Yeah.
Yeah. And then double it after. But start here. Okay, so you shared your journey of growing investments. For many, the idea of reaching $1 million net worth seems daunting, especially on a limited income. How did you decide that was the goal? What steps are you taking towards it? Well, we talked about that the whole time.
Mm.
And then now we wrap it with a nice bow of your FU disability money number.
467. We can live there.
I'm just thinking, because chat wanted to see blue as well. Blue is also nice. It's a lady voice. It's real. Develop a wealth mindset, challenging norms beyond the numbers. I think I play that video.
Okay.
And then, oh, that's nice. Okay, so we play that video. You react to that video, and then it'll summarize these two questions. And I believe her at the end of the show. This is nice. We're on time. This is fantastic. Okay,
All right.
let me play video blue.
You know, for way too long, the conversation around
Do you hear it?
I got it.
Okay.
around disability and money. You know, for way too long, the conversation around disability and money has been one of scarcity. There's this powerful and frankly disempowering idea that getting disability support means your financial future is basically set in stone. But what if that's not the whole story? In this explainer, we're diving deep into the rules of Canada's Ontario Disability Support Program, or ODSP, to show you how you can actually challenge that narrative and build real wealth. All right, so here's the game plan. First, we're going to tackle that pervasive story about disability and poverty head-on. Then, we'll uncover the surprisingly powerful financial tools that are hidden right inside the ODSP system. After that, we are going to bust some of the biggest myths that stop people from taking action. And finally, we'll map out how to find a really tangible goal, your personal financial freedom number. So let's kick things off with that common story. It's a narrative that shapes everything. policy, how the public sees things, and, most importantly, how people who are on disability support see their own financial potential. This question, man, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? So many people with disabilities feel exactly this way, like the financial system is just a maze of no's and restrictions, not a set of tools you can actually use to build a future. And that feeling of being trapped, it's not just a feeling. It is backed by some pretty stark reality. 1 in every 6 Canadians with disabilities lives in poverty. That's double the rate of those without disabilities. This isn't just bad luck. It's a systemic issue. So the story we're all told pretty much forces you into survival mode. But what if you could do more than just survive? What if you could actually thrive? Not by fighting the system, but by getting to know its rules so well that you can use them to your own advantage. And that's exactly what we're about to get into. Okay, this is where things get really interesting. This is the most empowering part of this whole conversation, unlocking the financial tools that are already available within ODSP. These are called exempt assets, and trust me, they are the hidden keys to building wealth while you're on the program. The first, and probably the most well-known tool, is the Registered Disability Savings Plan, or RDSP. Seriously, this thing is a total game changer. It's an investment account made specifically for people with disabilities, and any money you have in it or any money it earns is completely invisible to ODSP. It doesn't count towards your asset limits at all. This is your foundation. Okay, but this is where a lot of people hit a wall. They hear about the RDSP, but then they assume that other amazing accounts, like a TFSA or an RSP, are totally off limits. The truth is, they can be exempt too. But it all comes down to one single critical detail. And here it is. This is the secret sauce. Where you hold your investments is everything. If you have a TFSA or an RSP at a regular bank, yep, that counts towards your $40,000 asset limit. But, and this is a huge but, if you hold those exact same accounts through a life insurance company, investing in something called segregated funds, they're treated totally differently. And suddenly, up to an additional $100,000 can become exempt. This is a massive and often overlooked strategy. So what on earth are these segregated funds anyway? Well, think of them as investment funds that are wrapped up in an insurance contract. Because they're technically an insurance product, ODSP looks at them differently. It puts them under the policy for life insurance, not general assets. And that's the mechanism. That's the little detail that unlocks that extra $100,000 of exemption. Okay, so once you get that distinction, everything else starts to click into place. So let's use that knowledge to move on to our next section, navigating the financial rules of ODSP. We are going to bust some of the most common myths that hold people back. All right, let's tackle these myths right now. Myth number 1, you can't have any real savings. The reality, exempt assets like your RDSP and that $100,000 in segregated funds let you save a lot. Myth number 2, earning money isn't worth it? Nope. The truth is, ODSP has a really generous income exemption. And finally, the big worry, my investment growth will cut my benefits. Again, not true. When that growth happens inside these exempt accounts, it's protected. Let's just pause on that earning myth for a second, because this number is so important. As of recent updates, you can earn up to $1,000 of net income every single month from a job or your own business, and it will not reduce your ODSP payment by a single penny. The system is designed to encourage work, not punish you for it. Okay, so now you have the tools, you understand the rules, it's time to set a target. And that brings us to our final section, defying your freedom number. This is about setting a real, tangible goal for your own financial independence. Now, the source material for this calls it something pretty provocative, the Disability FU Money Number. Yeah, it's a bit blunt, but you know what? It perfectly captures the goal. It's about achieving a level of financial freedom where you are no longer dependent on the system. So what is it exactly? Well, put simply, it's the finish line. It's the total amount of money you need in your investments to generate enough income to completely replace your disability benefits. It's the point where you can confidently step away from support because your own wealth has you covered. And how do you figure out your number? It's actually way simpler than you might think. Step 1. Figure out the annual income you need to live comfortably. The source uses an example number of about $21,000. Step 2, you just multiply that annual income number by 25. This is based on a really common financial planning idea called the 4% rule. So in our source's example, that freedom number works out to about $533,000. And look, I know that can sound like a huge, intimidating number, But remember all those tools we just talked about? By using exempt assets like your RDSP and those segregated funds, it stops being some impossible dream and starts becoming a concrete, achievable target. And that really gets to the absolute core of this whole strategy. This isn't about finding loopholes or trying to bend the rules. It's about understanding the regulations so deeply that you can use them exactly as they are written to build and, just as importantly, protect your own financial future. At the end of the day, that narrative, the one that says your financial story is already written for you, is just that. It's a story. You have the tools and you have the knowledge to write a completely different one. So the only real question left is, what will your first chapter be? You know,
Okay,
All right.
there's blue. So we thought we watched blue and we watched yellow, and I'm more motivated than before. 'Cause now- so,
Right on. Right on. That was good.
mhm.
And, very informational, very inspirational as well. It's important because, you can feel stuck in the disability trap, you know, the ODSP trap. And there is a way out.
I'm glad. I'm because I made these videos. I invited you on. Then I got on to working on the timeline. Then I asked it for feedback. Then it gave me an audio summary of it. And then I was like, ooh. And then I know of Notebook LM that makes a podcast episode.
Mm-hmm.
So then it had this feature, it could make a video explainer. I was like, okay, try it. And yeah, I did like 3 times, 4 times.
That's awesome.
Because like it's pulling all of the notes of the policy directives and the income, like the earned income threshold, is pulling accurate information out of it, and then
Mhm.
it's pulling my personal target of the disability FU number. Like in traditional financial independence fire movement, it's your annual expenses times 25.
Hmm.
But I figure since most of us on disability, we spend all the money we get from our disability payment to live
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
that would be our annual expenses. And you're getting your amount because of you have full shelter, then basic needs, then special diet, then you work sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So that number is directly Patrick's number. And then Minnie St. Clair's number is 1779, but they take away $81 for the overpayment. So it's like 1659. So I always made it on the highest number I could get from ODSP in a month, which is 1879 now. And then it indexes with inflation. So
Okay.
next July, when your ODSP increases by like maybe $40 next year, ideally your FU money number changes with inflation because
Okay.
you would change your monthly amount times 12 times 25.
Hmm.
And Samantha says she loved this. So
Good. Very good.
which
Any
is,
any questions from Samantha?
I mean, I am shaking up the status quo of giving them freedom and abundance and work
Mm-hmm.
really hard and reach $500,000 or $1 million. So this takes time to process.
Yeah.
Me and Patrick have been working on this for about 10 to 7 years or so. So we've naturally changed our mindset, which is perfect for the next question. Beyond the numbers, how are you developing your millionaire mindset as a person with a disability? Are there any personal finance books or other resources you're currently reading that have influenced you? And how does it feel to actively go against the traditional narratives of disability and poverty?
Well, there hasn't been any book specifically written for people on disability in Ontario that want to escape yet, that I've come across. So I've been feeding my mind with stuff that's um, more focused on fully able-bodied people with um, financial independence. Um, One that I most recently read was or listened to, because I'm visually impaired, was "How Not to Invest" by Barry Ritholtz, who's investment manager in the States. Uh, Decent book, and it it lived up to its name, how not to invest, what not to do. Because I think we learn more from, like, when a plane goes down, you learn more from why it crashed about how to prevent that from happening in the future. So, I like studying disasters and figuring out, what happened. So that was good. Another one was The Millionaire Mind, which was educational. I read that years ago, and it taught me that, quiet luxury, and people may have money that don't flash it, and that's pretty cool. And that's the type of wealth that I want to have, is not displayed. You know what I mean? And yeah, so those two have been pretty good, influential. Um, the other one I read the last couple of years ago was an old one. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it'll come to me when it's no longer necessary. But those two were pretty influential.
That's great, because for me, I like processing books. So like Susie Orman's um, Women and Money book. She had like nine steps to financial something.
Hmm.
That was one of the first books I read, 2004.
Okay.
And then Gail Voss Oxley, her Debt Free Forever book with her jars and things like that. So like
Yep.
how every dollar I spent, or I write it into a little notebook journal, the 5-star notebook journal, so tiny thick ones.
Hmm.
And one point I spent like $500 on takeout. I was like, what?
Wow.
But then now the current version I follow is Dave Ramsey's 7 Baby Steps.
Okay.
And that one is the most you are here map, is what I
Yeah.
like to call it.
Yeah.
Because like my $1,000 emergency fund is at 400. I have to get it back to $1,000.
Mhm.
And then being on ODSP, $1,000 emergency fund actually covers a lot for us.
Yep. Yep.
So like how traditional non-disabled people, $1,000 not enough. Really? Try limit on 1,400.
Yeah, really.
And see what $1,000 does for you. Like, it's
And
just-
actually, it's interesting, because that got me thinking. I was thinking earlier
Mhm.
that the 25 times your number for your FU number, I don't think it's high enough for us. Like
It's not. But
I'm just
most of us
thinking.
have zero. So
Oh,
the
I
amount
know,
of-
I know.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, a lot of us are struggling to get to living on a livable number, above the poverty line. So I'd be interested to know what the number would be based on the poverty line. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I talked about it earlier about budgeting. So I know
Mhm.
for me, monthly I spend $2,500, me by myself. There's no children, there's no pets, there's no husband.
Mhm.
I don't travel a lot. I travel, but not like every year. It's mostly like my day-to-day expenses.
Right.
So the FU money number, and it'll depend if I become a homeowner or not. So,
Mhm.
and if I buy a home, it's going to be a condo or a townhome, something that's small and manageable. I'm not looking for a big yard
Yeah.
or a
Yeah.
basement. Like, and if it is a basement, it's a finished basement. I make like those things change your FU number
Mhm.
over time, because if you're still renting, like I've been living in my apartment for 18 years, rent is $995. Like I need to get my building to change the floor and do renovations on the floor, but then I need to spend like a day or two in a hotel while they renovate the apartment.
Right.
So like you really have to know what is your household spending, and like there's no children, so that means there's nobody I'm paying to go to college for.
Mhm.
Like, so the FU money number really depends on what's going to happen or what you want to have happen when you're older.
Right.
Like my grandma's house, if I had to manage that house by myself, I would sell that thing so fast,
Mm.
because it's a big basement. Then there's a lot of stairs. Then there's a deck. Then there's 3.5 bathrooms.
Right.
No,
A lot
4
of ma-
bedrooms. Yeah, like it's just too much. And then like a kitchen that has a washing machine, a dishwasher, and then the washing machine. That's too many maintenance in that
Mhm.
apartment, like
Yeah,
that
really.
house. But if you're living in a 2-bedroom condo with just a dishwasher and a washing machine, that's not a lot of maintenance.
No, you can live with that.
And then how my kitchen bathroom has LED lights, but my bedroom has light bulbs. I have to hire a person to change the light bulbs in the bedroom versus the kitchen that has the LED lights.
Mm.
So if I change everything to be more accessible, that number may be exactly what I need, or it may be just enough to not live below the poverty line.
Okay.
Either way, once you get closer to it and you're budgeting your day-to-day expenses, you know how much more you need to add to it or live off of it. And we're already good at living off of almost nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So $500,000 may feel like $1 million because we're so used to living on nothing.
That's
So
true.
this is how
That's
the number is so subjective in this, like you have to just look at what is your personal circumstances, and what are you content with living with? Like they're just so, but at least know with that number, if I need to hire a PSW or a repair person or a chef, I can figure it out in that budget. I could because it's 25 times what I work with right now. Like it's just, it's
Right.
an open opportunity. It's more of the opportunity that it'll give you.
Right. And I think the way I'm looking at this number is the bare minimum. It's like that's the bare minimum for success, to be free of government support.
Yeah. But you've also worked on your mindset about money and stretched your money belief system a lot to think that's the bare minimum. So it's a weird way of when you expand, and the more investor book, your Common Sense Investing or J.L. Collins' Simple Path to Wealth, those people have a different way of presenting money to us where there's more opportunity, there's more flexibility, there's more like creative ideas,
Yep.
less survival. Like even our survival thinking blocks out opportunity. So all the things we're doing to get here, it expands the opportunity to think bigger, where, yeah, FU number $533,000 baseline number. Okay. But
Yeah.
get there first.
Yeah.
Okay. This is wonderful. Right. Defining disabled wealthy, your financial independence journey. The show is called Disabled Wealthy, and for us, financial independence often means creating our own narrative within broader financial independence, retire early movement. For many people with disabilities, the narrative is that we are medically retired and our financial story is already written. For our audience, fire is about having enough investments to live off your returns without depleting your principal. For me, the concept, we did this. I don't know why I'm reading the question. We fully did this.
Yeah.
The concept is tied to disability FU number, the asset amount needed to transition off of disability benefits. I love how I read the question and we fully had this conversation. And we played the video right after, since I played the video. We played both of them. And then, for Patrick, what does disabled wealthy mean to you? And I think you've already talked about it, but just summarize what it was.
Disabled wealthy to me means being able to live free of fear of not having enough. Escaping the essentially the fear of not having enough. Yeah. And we'll get there eventually. Right.
So your $467,000 will open the doors of what do I need to be enough.
That's right. That's right. And it'll grow. It'll, get there, and like you say, it should happen before 15 years.
Okay, so this question I'm reading: how does your investment strategy across accounts like RDSP, TFSA, RRSP, and others help you achieve that number? We talked about it. It's very weird how the questions are coming
Kind of out of sequence.
Well, I mean, yes and no. Like I memorized most of this stuff in the script, but I want to make sure I cover the questions for people watching and watching on the replay.
Fair enough.
The disability community, this conversation may feel foreign to them, but for us, it's like a natural, be millionaires.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
100,000. Okay. Next up, 500,000. Like we.
Well, and the reality is that there's something like $10 billion in Canada that's invested in all RDSPs. So when you break down that math, that means that the average RDSP is only worth $36,000.
Oh, so we're unicorns.
We are
Okay.
unicorns already. I know another guy, a subscriber of mine, that he took a YOLO, you only live once investment. Don't recommend doing this, but he did it, and he expanded his $67,000 last year to over 300 this year because he took a big bet that I wouldn't do, but he did it, and now he's sitting on $300,000 out in Alberta in his RDSP, and
Yeah. And I
he can still
remember
contribute to it.
there was an article of someone that turned their tax-free savings account into a couple millions of dollars.
Mm.
And that's my next thing to work. Like me, credit card debt, I got to pay it off. Like,
Yeah,
because some years my credit cards are getting like $6,000, $3,000 in payments. And I'm like, how? Like, what happened?
yeah,
And it's because it's small amounts every month that I'm paying to the credit card. I don't feel it. And then when I do the review in my December budget for January, the whole year, I was like, when did I put $3,000 on my credit card?
yeah. They
And
call
then
it.
I look at my investments and it's like 1,500 or 2,000. But if I had no credit card debt at all, like no credit card payments at all, I could have put like 5,000 or 6,000 all in savings and investments
Mhm.
for the year and do that every year till I like retire, or ODSP says I have to apply for CPP,
Yeah,
where the FU money number could be achievable faster because debt is not swallowing up the money with compound interest growing in owing money versus
Mhm.
compound interest in owning money.
yeah.
Oh, good. I got it right in my head. Because like I hear these financial concepts with like able-bodied financial gurus, but
Yeah.
then now it's like, how does it work for us as people with disabilities? It's the same thing.
Well,
It's just
yeah,
that our stress level with debt is higher because we're using debt to supplement medical expenses or living expenses missing from assistance programs,
hmm
when we have to be more mindful of our cash flow to grow our investments in the future.
yeah,
And my investments, they go in, I know they're there. I log in every once in a while. I smile because, dividends are 3,500. I'm like, oh, this is
Mm.
nice. And then I log out and I go do something else. And one time my cash account in my investment account had $9,000.
Hmm.
So I had to call my financial advisor. I'm like, there's $9,000 in cash. I thought we were supposed to invest it in my dynamic fund and my real estate fund.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, we will. But he told me that he was waiting in the market to shift because something political was happening.
Oh,
And I'm
trying
like,
to.
oh, okay, sure. And then when I had a lot of technology companies in my portfolio, and Elon Musk was doing something weird I didn't feel good about.
Mm.
So I called my financial planner. I'm like, how much technology do I have? And he told me how much it was. I was like, can we move it where it's less? Because I don't like Elon Musk right now. That was my feeling.
Okay.
So
And how'd that work out for you?
apparently really well. My instinct was really good.
Mm.
It worked really well of like, I don't like Elon. Can I not have all of his companies in my portfolio?
Right on.
But then the way that the fund managers manage my portfolio, because there's me picking mutual funds, and then the mutual funds have managers that manage the whole fund.
Mhm.
They may put some technology companies from Elon back into my portfolio because of how the market is performing for certain type of successful companies.
Right.
But that could change. Like 20 years from now, Elon Musk may not be the big person we talk about in the media. It could be somebody else. We have
Well,
no
yeah.
idea. Like
Yeah.
it could be like some kid in high school that's about to graduate in 20 years and invent something
Something's not
that we're
even
using.
invented yet. Yeah.
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 And we don't know when we're going to pass away. So I could be living to 99 like Betty White, which she didn't get to 99. She got pretty close.
You're pretty close.
And if
That's
you
right.
live that long, with our disabilities having better technology and better prescriptions and
Mhm.
better coverage, that affects the FU money number because we're living longer.
Yep. Just don't
And
know how long you're going to need to draw it on. That's
yeah,
right.
so it's an ongoing conversation you're having with yourself with your portfolio.
Mm.
Okay, so now this question: advice for hesitant investors. Final thoughts, Patrick, as we approach our end of the discussion. For disabled Canadians on ODSP who might be scared to start investing or unsure if it's even allowed, what is the single most important piece of advice you would offer them today? And on behalf of everyone watching, thank you for sharing your invaluable insights, for giving hope, and giving hope that they could too work towards their own disability FU money number and live freely with a disability.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know what? There's only one way to eat an elephant, and that's one bite at a time. So, you got to get started. And I think the biggest single thing is getting your disability tax credit if you don't already have it. And you'd be surprised the number of people on ODSP and other provincial support programs that don't have their disability tax credit. I don't know why it's not harmonized, and you get one and the other at the same time. It's not the way it is. So getting that disability tax credit, that's the first step, and then opening the RDSP. And whether you want somebody to manage it for you through registered, the mutual funds and an advisor, or you want to do it yourself, that's totally up to you. And you can switch. You can decide, hey, this is too much stress, I don't want to do it. Hand it off to a manager, or you can go the other way. You can fire a manager who's not performing as well as the market. It's totally up to you. But I think the biggest single thing is just to get started.
Yes. So just to add to working with an advisor, work with one that you meet with regularly, like I do with mine. Because I treat my review of my portfolio like parent teacher night, and we're reviewing its report card, and does it do its homework? Does it show up at class every day?
Yeah.
Because I don't just want to put my money in an account and then 20, 30 years from now, go look at it and then it's performing poorly, or it's like, I don't want to be surprised.
Yeah.
So that's an extra task that some of us may be able to do, or some of us need help doing. But don't just blindly leave a person manage your accounts.
Yeah.
Read the statements. Get ChatGPT to help you to read your statements. Like the website Get Smarter About Money. I like that one a lot because it teaches you investing. It teaches you financial concepts, like how it was in the notes. I took out the link. I'll put the link for the website in chat. But it was a good website that taught you what is a segregated fund or what is your RDSPs. And it's made by the Ontario Securities Commission. So it's the best reputable source I can find for learning about money, investments, and risk tolerance and compound interest and all the things. Because like when I type numbers in the compound interest calculator, if I was to invest my registered disability savings plan, I'm not the payment from ODSP. I'm mixing up numbers now. Where is it? Investment calculator, tools and calculator. All right, compound interest. All right. We see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so ODSP right now is $1,408.
Right.
I currently have $80 in my taxable account. So 1408, and that is monthly. Let's say I get a return of 6%. And we do that for 30 years. That is $1.4 million.
Right.
For ODSP gives you $1,400, and then you invest all of your not right now. You don't invest actual. You have to work. So I don't want people to think to invest your disability money. Don't do that. You have to work, and the money you earn from work, a portion of that gets invested into the stock market to grow. You still live basic needs, shelter, food, clothing, medications. It's additional money that you have to earn that is invested in the stock market that is separate from your basic living expenses that
Yeah.
keeps you to live to fight another day.
Yeah. And you know what? I think it's important to remember too. Like there are people on ODSP and other provincial disability programs that have nothing left over at the end of the day, and it happens. I've been in that situation before, and that's where the RDSP's magic comes into play. The fact that you get that bond and the grant every year, whether you contribute or not. Um, if you're a low income person, that makes it so much better that you still have some money to look forward to, even if you can't contribute. Not that that's an ideal situation, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, because it's the grants and bonds that comes into your registered disability savings plan are based on your income tax return the previous year.
Yeah.
So, and everything in the federal government is based on your income tax return from the previous year at your determining eligibility. And then it's also based on income tax return for the Trillium Drug Program for Ontario. ODSP just wants to see your tax return just to see if there's income that you did not claim to ODSP so they can double check what income was filed on your income taxes but not reported to ODSP. This is why every month by the 7th of the month, report all of your income earned in the previous month to ODSP. And then once a year, make sure if you forgot to claim income to ODSP or give them a copy of your bank statements, do it in December so that way January you can start fresh because the rights and responsibilities of ODSP, you legally have to report your income, your assets. Did you get married? Did you have children? So make it the routine you would do the same way you would file your income taxes at the same time. Like just put a date on your calendar, 2:00, gather documents, report to ODSP, because it's better if you report it than a caseworker finds it, suspends your file, and does a full audit to cause more stress. It's just better
Yep.
if you just automatically do it, so that way you're more in control and in charge of your money and your life decisions than the caseworker fighting it and then causing this false idea that you did something wrong when legally you're supposed to just report it, send it to them, determine your eligibility, and then move on to the next task. It's a lot of task orienting stuff that you do with money goes in investments, pay the credit card bill, did I get groceries, buy new shirts because everything has holes in it. Like it's just adulting. Yes,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
adulting, disability or not. And FYI, some able-bodied, non-disabled people have a hard time doing this. So
Yep. Yep.
if we can do some of it, we're better than most people that don't do it at all, that don't have a disability.
And now that we've got our disability tax credit, we got our registered disability savings plan, we've got this Canada Disability benefit. I don't know if you got yours. I got mine.
Yeah,
200.
mine's coming. I'm going to use it for the lymphatic drainage massage with the massage therapist. I decide it was supposed to go on my registered disability savings plan. It just said,
Mine's paying off my credit card, and then when that's done, it's going into the registered disability savings plan.
yeah, but
But
if I make money to cover physiotherapy, I'll pay for physiotherapy with money, and then the money from Canada Disability Benefit would go in the registered disability savings plan. So it just because the budget for me is there's a guideline how I plan the month, and then sometimes I assign money a different category depending on how the month plays out.
okay.
So I try to budget that money before it arrives. So then when it shows up, I have a checklist of Canada Disability Benefit. Where are my options? Choose one. Like the Choose Your Adventure book.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do I go to page 4 or go to page 29? Like it's just so that is just
I try to automate mine as much as possible so I don't think about it. But
if
whatever
you
works
can.
for you,
If you because like if you know you have consistent income coming in regularly, automation is a good idea. But for me, where my income is sporadic, there's some fixed income on a schedule. There's some that are not on a schedule. So like I have to once a week I check in with what came in, where did it go, then I record it in my budget,
Mm.
then I
Yep.
review at the end of I review at the end of the month. As long as I make it to the end of the month before the money is finished, I feel like I won.
You need more money than month. That's
Yes.
the key.
When
Yeah.
there's more month than money, I feel I used to feel bad, but I don't anymore. Just because part of it is I need to increase my income. Like feeling bad when you like that's so just the answer to that feeling bad is increasing your income.
Mm.
Then it was like, okay, just focus on increasing my income. And now that we can make $1,000 on ODSP and still keep our full benefits, now it's I make my $1,000 and where would I like my $1,000 budgeting to go? And I
Yep.
definitely know credit cards. I love you and I don't love you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to eliminate 2 credit cards from the team and keep 2 credit cards. And even that, I'm not worried about the credit report of like, oh, keep this many credit cards so it looks good on your credit report. I'm not worried about looking good at the credit report.
Mm.
That is for finance. I'm not playing kissy face with the bank. Like
Yeah.
I need more money in my investments.
Yep. Yep.
So that is how that works. Okay. So what's next for you on your financial journey, Patrick? Where can the audience find you for more information about your work and connect with you?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm here on YouTube as Disabled Investor, and you can find me on most of the socials, Threads, Instagram. I'm Disabled Investor, and on X as Disabled Investor without the E or O, because I ran out of letters. But yeah, you'll find me. My links are on my channel page, and you can connect with me there. They should all be there.
Well, on the screen right now, I have your channel on screen, so people
Okay.
can see. So they can see the words "Disable Investor," and then your 2 more links. You have X, you have Threads, you have Blue Sky.
Oh yeah, Blue Sky. I always forget Blue Sky.
Yeah,
But
great. And
Threads,
you tend to upload a video almost every day. I notice. So
I do. I do at least one a day. Try to do some shorts as well, because I've got some people that just follow the shorts, and they don't really care about the long form video, and that's okay. It is what it is.
I know short video people have me. They're odd to me, especially my TikTok right now. That's 3,000 views.
Yeah.
That's not even the full. Like they're missing the context if you only listen to me for 30 seconds.
Well, that's the attention span of the modern generation, is 30 seconds at a time. That's
Because
just
the way they're arguing with me of a soundbite I said in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
When here, we're finishing 2 hours right now. We covered a lot of information.
Oh, for sure.
And we had our PBS version videos explain it to them twice.
Yeah.
Because I like it. Like they like I'm definitely, an 80s baby when we play the explainer video.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It
knowing
just-
is half the battle. Yeah.
It just needs its own catchy music. Like What is a Bill? Remember that commercial that came on when we were kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For
Okay.
sure.
So chat. I don't know. Let me check chat, the dashboard. So for top fans, it was Samantha, then Walamala, and then Neil from PWD and Allies.
Glad to see Neil made
It
it.
still says 3 people. I'm
Okay.
hoping. Oh, just followed you both. Okay, good. Samantha's
you.
still here.
Thank you, Samantha.
Sometimes audience is very, very quiet, and I
Yeah.
have no idea who's listening or what. But I really like this. You know how, like, okay, yes, my arm is doing the arm thing of multiple sclerosis, but the rest of the year, it'd be very interesting how fast I pay off my very expensive credit card at 28.99% interest and increase my investment portfolio. And then we circle back with a check-in, like accountability people to figure out of like, how close are you to 200,000? Because that's essentially the next goal if we already at 100.
Next milestone. Well, I'm going to break it down to 150. How fast can I get to 150? And it's not just getting there; it's keeping it, right?
Yeah. So here's Guatemala. They have the attention span of a goldfish. Well, goldfish are shorter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've proven that goldfish can drive little cars. I don't know if you saw that on the science Discovery thing. They get a little Lego car that a goldfish is driving. It's pretty cool.
Is it in the tank?
It's
Is
in the
it?
tank. Yeah, it's not flopping around in
Okay.
a go kart.
Because this is what happens when you watch cartoons as a
That'd be
kid.
dinner.
I'm
Yeah.
fully thinking a fish is outside of the tank with a car and a hat on his head.
No, I saw it on Discovery years ago. They had the fish in a little bowl on some wheels, and it swam up to one thing to drive forward and another to turn right or left or something. I forget exactly how it worked, but it was pretty cool.
Okay, so chat, I don't know if chat will show on the replay, but I did post links to the ODSP policy directive, life insurance, ODSP policy directive for registered disability savings plan, the link to the Get Smarter About Money website. That's the disabled investor. My bad. Hold on. Yeah, the Get Smarter About Money website that's done by the Ontario Securities Commission.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's very detailed in learning to be an investor. And then I do recommend the Dave Ramsey baby steps to get started, so you know that you're organized in the baby steps of your financial order.
I follow his daughter. I follow his daughter on socials.
The Rachel Cruz show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's too enthusiastically annoying, but that's just. But this is good. Okay, I'm gonna keep talking because I'm motivated. But this is it. We are finished because we did the slides, we did the myth, we answered all the questions, we played the video, and this is it. Great.
That was good.
And chat, thank you for participating, everybody.
Yeah.
And I'll see you next Saturday. I have no idea what I'm talking about next Saturday. I need to plan next Saturday's episode because Patrick's episode was the most involved episode, but it was nice that it's not just me. Patrick does it too. Like you're gonna hear me now on the video. Like it's not just me, it's Patrick too.
And I talk to myself on live streams as well. You know, it happens.
Okay, I'm gonna